guys, welcome back to Robertson's Belly Acres. So we left you guys last was we were filling that raised garden bed, and we were going to be making more garden beds, but Rusty pulled a muscle in his back pretty bad. He's got a pretty good strain on his back, so I had to take him to urgent care today, and he is out of commission for the rest of the week, at least the rest of the week. So he's on muscle relaxers and Tylenol with codeine, so he is resting. So we've got to slow down on the hard labor stuff for a little bit. I think I am going to go ahead and try to get that truck unloaded in the next couple of days. I'm going to do it a little at a time. I'm just going to unload it on the ground next to the straw, and as we get raised beds built, well, then we can fill it from there. But when we were out and we went to urgent care, we did stop and pick up some stuff. I got some onion starts because that bed is pretty much ready. We got some, these are onion sets. I think these were the Texas sweet and then candy onions. So I like the sweeter onions. I always cook with yellow onions. So I did get a couple of bundles of sets of those. I also found, you guys, I'm so excited, I found russet potatoes, seed potatoes. So I only ever find the golds or the reds, but I did find russet potatoes, so I'm super excited about that because that's what I cook with mainly is russet potatoes. And then I went ahead and I picked up some garlic. I know it's not time to plant garlic, but I think I'm going to throw it in the ground and see what happens. Not in this bed, but in one of the beds. I have some ideas for moving things around to be able to create more space to start getting things planted. I'm wearing my hoodie today because it is like 63 degrees today, and in here it's been staying consistently about 70. Right now it's about 70 degrees. It was 70, like 75 earlier, 78. So I did not even open up the greenhouse today because lower 60s was about where we got today. And yeah, I know it's not cold, you guys, but I think it's all relevant. So we did pick up some, a couple of bags of, it's Miracle Grow compost for the raised beds so that we could top dress that bed with it before I start planting. That's not the route we're going to go because that is super expensive, you guys. We paid the same amount for the 2 bags of compost or potting soil or mix, whatever it is. We paid the same price for that for 2 bags that we did for the entire 2 tons of topsoil that we had in the back of the truck. So crazy. I know we can get mushroom compost for about $20-25 a truckload. So when Rusty gets to feeling better, that's what we're going to do. But right now we just had to do what we had to do because, you know, right now Rusty's not able to help me out as much as I'm used to. So it's funny, you get used to things, you get used to the way things run, and then all of a sudden they can't run that way. We are supposed to get a little bit colder weather later this week. I think like it's supposed to just hit like 32 or whatever, but I really want to have my onions or my potatoes and onions in the ground by St. Patrick's Day. So I'm going to go ahead and get these started, not planted, just get these prepared for my garden. So the way we do this, these are growing. They're growing out of the bag, so just kind of cutting them loose. I'm so excited about having russet potatoes. I really am. these are what we cook with mainly. And I mean, I like the red potatoes and the gold potatoes. I do like them, but they're just not what I normally cook with. And they don't get as big as these russet potatoes do. So, okay. So what we do is, this is a seed potato, but you can actually have several plants out of this potato. So this is an eye. This is an eye. Everywhere where you have a little divot and a little white spot, that's an eye. So you can cut these up. You can plant the whole thing. You're perfectly fine to plant the whole thing. And then you just thin it. Like if 2 or 3 plants come up off of this one, you can thin it out. Like make it to where you only have one every so often, right? So they don't crowd each other out. Or you can start out by cutting your potato into pieces. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way here. I'm going to cut this in half here. And then I can cut, this will be 2. That's a whole plant. I've got this collapsible crate here that I'm just going to lay these on top of. And I'm going to lay them cut side up. So the point of this is I want them to dry before I plant them because I don't want them to rot. Sometimes if you plant them wet, they'll rot. Now I'm telling you this, and there have been many years that I have just planted them and not worried about drying them. And that's just fine. This one will be just fine. I'll leave that one just the way it is. But by doing it this way, you get a lot more plants from one potato. And it just kind of depends on your space and, you know, what you have to go on. We'll leave that one. And I'm just going to leave them out here to dry. I think this helps a lot. Let's see. That's perfect. I'm going to leave that one just the way it is. It's usually up here where you get 2 or 3 little pieces. And some of them you're going to have 2 eyes. I've got an eye here and I've got an eye here and an eye here. I've got an eye here and an eye here, and that's fine. It's really, there's really not a science. I mean, I'm sure there is a science to it, but in Rachel's greenhouse, you know, we're just flying by the seat of our pants. Now, Ruth's stout method, she does not cut up her, or did not cut up her potatoes at all. She just planted the whole potato, and it, you know, didn't stress. So, if you don't want to stress about it, don't stress about it. Now, you can plant, okay, here's controversy. You can plant potatoes you get from the grocery store. But you are taking a risk because a lot of times the ones you get from the grocery store are sprayed with a chemical or chemicals that make your plants not sprout. So even though you have them sprouting in the potato bin, a lot of them are sprayed with something that causes them not to sprout. So they may be dwarfed, or, you know, production may be a little less. But hey, if you can't get seed potatoes, or you're gifted a whole bunch of russet potatoes and you don't know what to do with them, what's it gonna hurt? Throw them out there, see what happens. Okay, so what I've done is I went ahead and set this up here. I'll set it like that, it's fine. And the reason I'm going to set that there before I put my crate is because my crate does have holes in the bottom. And I want as much air as possible to get to these potatoes for a couple of days, just so they can dry. So there we got it. If we can make a go of these, that's several potato plants. About 50 pieces of potato there. So if we can make a go of all of those potatoes, of all of those pieces, that'll be 50 potatoes out of this bag. So definitely a lot better deal. We got these from Atwood's, which is a farm store. A lot better of a deal than, say, at Lowe's. We did look at Lowe's, and they had the golden potato, the little gold potatoes, new potatoes, and then they had the red ones. They had a little more variety, but it was $5 for 4 little potatoes in it. And yes, you can cut those in half too, but or into pieces. But this was a much better deal at Atwood's. So see, this actually gives instructions. It says cut seed potatoes into 1.5 to 2 ounces with at least 1 eye per piece. Let cuts dry and heal a day before planting. Small potatoes should be planted whole. Space seed pieces 10 to 12 inches apart and cover with 2 to 3 inches of loose soil. As plants emerge, add soil around the base of the plant. This pulling up of soil will allow more room for the plant's tubers to develop. Hilling should be done every 2 to 3 weeks. This will have to be done about 3 to 4 times. For harvesting, allow the skin to harden to prevent damage for long time storage. Store in a cool, dark area to prevent the potatoes from sprouting. So that's cool that it gave a little thing there. So yes, we will be hilling these up over the course of them growing. I've never grown potatoes in a raised bed before, so this is new to me. I'm excited about it, and we shall see how it goes. But I do have plans. I have some rudimentary little drawings, and I do know that I want to put a couple of potatoes in one of these plants, and one of these. But I can plant potatoes, onions, and radishes together. And those are going to be the ones I want to grow first. I do need to get my peas up there. It may be a little early for radishes, because radishes, they're only radishes are only 30 days to harvest usually. So I like to plant my carrots and my radishes together. So carrots take 70 to 75 days to maturity, where radishes take about 30 days to maturity. So if you plant them together, like you plant a carrot, then a radish, then a carrot, then a radish. If you do that, when you pull your radishes at that 30-day mark, it loosens up that soil again for your carrots. So, and your carrots they still have another 40 to 45 days before they're going to be mature. So that just kind of in that almost halfway point, you just give them a little bit of extra room. So that theoretically, that's how we go about it. Let's go out and get that bed ready for the onion sets, because I am planting the onion sets today. Yeah, and let's take a real quick tour of the greenhouse. I did go live from the greenhouse on my Belly Acres Kitchen channel. It was really awesome, so everybody got to see what was going on. It's going to change in here several times throughout the season as we're moving things out, replanting things, repotting things. It's already changed since the live. So let's take a real quick tour. I do have several starts already. I found this, or Desi found it actually, at our local farm store. Johnny Cat wants to come in. He thinks he's supposed to be in here when I'm in here. Come on, babe. Come on. And it's solar. It has a solar light on it, so it was really cute. I just thought it was great. But anyway, we do have several starts out here. We have some okra and cantaloupe, and I mean, just planted, so they're not up yet. We have tomatoes and peppers. These right here, these yellow ones, and these two, these are Desi's. She planted these. I'm so excited. I'm hoping they come up really nicely. Somebody said, your spoons are coming up nicely. We got jalapeno peppers. And I'm like, I know. So I went ahead and planted knives. Look how great they're coming up. We also had a lot of these starters, the little starter pods left over. But I've done this before. I went and bought these little Dixie or Glad little cups for the bathroom, right? For the little mouth rinse cups. And you can buy them at Dollar General for, I think it's 20 of them for $1. So when you're going to pay about $10 for a 76 cell, you're going to pay $6 for 120. So, you know, that they're just easy. And I put the drain holes on the sides, not on the bottom, so that way it holds moisture a little bit better. And they work great. And they're paper, so they're biodegradable. We have one little bitty cilantro coming up there. We have some black seeded lettuce coming up there. This is just crazy. It's my work area, so it gets a little nuts. We have the thermometer. We did put up a couple of little baskets to kind of try to help keep things a little more organized. My calendar here, I'll show you guys this calendar real quick. So what I do is I write down when I plant stuff, and then I keep track of when I should be looking for germination, and I will write down everything that should be germinating on the dates. And then if I get to the bottom of the date and it's not germinated, I know that there's either something wrong with my soil or something wrong with my seeds, and then I can address it without just wasting a whole lot of time. And then I do the same thing for harvesting. Just kind of keep track of you know, when I should be looking at things to be mature and harvest. And then I also, it may be overkill. I know there's apps for this kind of stuff, but just getting in here, putting pencil to paper helps me out a lot. I also write down my start dates, and then germination, how long, and harvest. And that helps me keep square as well. I use old cutlery. You know, seems like every get together somebody brings cutlery, so I have a ton of this, which is great. I love it because I don't have to wash silverware, but I end up with a lot of it, and hey, you use what you got, right? I moved Mama's plants, her house plants out here. They are loving it. They are already getting new leaves. This helps me to remember to water, and hopefully, look at that. She's getting new growth on everything. So, you guys, there's her poinsettia. It's still doing great. It just blows my mind. These are my chives. I'm fixing to have to. They're already breaking. I'm going to go ahead and harvest these before they go to bloom. And then down here, I did plant some oregano. Johnny Cat. Here's some spinach that's coming up. I planted peas, like two peas along the back of each of these tubs that I'm going to run a string up to connect and just let them trellis the string if they come up. They're old peas, so I don't know if they will. This right here that's coming up is that black seeded lettuce. I probably need to go ahead and thin that out. Then I have tomatoes. That's a tomato coming up. That back there, I think, is a pea that's coming up. But yes, Johnny Cat, I love you. And then in here, this is freckle lettuce. I don't know, it's not doing great. I think it got too hot in here at one point, and it may make a comeback yet. I've got cherry tomatoes and peas. Some of this stuff's going to have to be thinned out. I'm just starting it, guys. Look at this spinach is coming up beautiful, and this is coming up with the Egyptian walking onions. They are so pretty. These Egyptian walking onions we got from Cindy and Gary over at Pathways Homestead about 3 years ago. and they are doing amazing. And the cool thing about Egyptian walking onions is you have green onions all year, so that's nice. And then more peas at the back. And then in here I've got a couple of jalapenos planted, and parsley, and then this is just English thyme that I'm hoping that comes up. But there you go. Just kind of a quick tour. The compost is doing great. I've got stuff mixed in there. I have the water hose already up, and it's working out great to just be able to hang that up and kind of have it out of my way. Okay, let's go out and check out this raised bed. Come on, Johnny. Come on. All right, you guys, so this is kind of where our last video ended. We did get the bed completely full, and with the topsoil and the straw and the wood underneath that. It did take about a third of that truckload. That's the truckload that I need to be emptying over the next few days. I'm just going to empty it onto a pile, just so that way we have the truck clear for anything else we need to go get while Rusty is not doing well, or while he's recouping. So we are going to be getting some mushroom compost. You can get it a lot cheaper per truckload than you can the commercial stuff. But, you know, right now we got to do what we, you know, with what we've got to make things work. So I did find this. It is Miracle Grow. It's for raised beds. You guys, it cost us the same amount to buy these that it did to buy 2 tons of topsoil. So I know this is pretty steep, but I'm just going to go ahead and top dress this bed with these 2 bags. And you know what? The next bed we'll be able to put organic, mushroom compost in it and be able to go from there. But right now, this is what works for us. So let's go ahead and get this top dressed. I'm going to go ahead and pull out some of the bigger dirt clods, or try to get them broken up before I top dress it. I was thinking about this when I come out. Go figure that it's actually quite calm today, and we could be cutting down trees. It's just the way it works sometimes. It's okay. We've got plenty of time. And Rusty's health is way more important than, you know, any of this. So I've got this little thing. We're going to try just chopping these up. Let's see what happens. Some of it, once it dried up, it's doing great. There is a lot of clay in this, but that is what's good about this stuff that we're going to be putting in. Has gypsum in it. So gypsum works kind of the way your perlite does. It's going to create space and air movement inside, or air inside your bed. So that will be a good addition. Rusty and I are talking about, you know, we try to reuse things. I need to do a little more research, but if you guys have been following us for any length of time, that shed that we're tearing down had drywall on the outside of it, and you know, most drywall is gypsum. So I'm wondering, this is just how my brain is working, I'm wondering if we couldn't pulverize those drywall and incorporate that into our beds that we are going to add compost to, because it's gypsum. So it's kind of the same thing as it does the same thing that perlite does, you know, holding in moisture, creating air in your, not creating, but you know what I mean, air pockets, I guess. So something that I'm going to have to research a little more on and see if that actually works. if you guys know, if you guys have heard of that, people using old sheetrock, let me know what you think. The sheetrock is not painted either, so I don't have to worry about like lead-based paint. That would be the other thing that I would have to really pay attention to. We also have a lot of pieces of sheetrock left over from our house, or remodeling our house. So I think that we can use some of that, because we know for sure that is gypsum because it's newer, and we know for sure that it is not painted with lead-based paint because it's not painted at all. Anyway, just the kinds of things that my brain does in the middle of the night. So I top dressed it. I did go down, dig down a little bit with my rake just to kind of get everything mixed in and incorporated. I'm going to go ahead and go in and grab my onions, and I'm going to see about how many I can put in here. I'm thinking I'm going to put my potatoes over there on the north end, and then my onions here, and then and see how many rows I can get of onions. All right, you guys. So it's recommended 1 inch deep, 4 inches apart, and rows 12 inches. So if you're planting them in rows. So I've got a couple of things, a couple of rudimentary tools here. This is called a dibbler. So it's sharp on one end, it has a handle on the other end. This was made for us by Jason Avers over at Green Forest Agriculture. I think that's the name of his channel. I will link his channel below. But like I said, I've had this for 3 or 4 years. Maybe even longer than that, because he made this for us when we lived at our first farm. And so at least about 4 years. I have a ruler mounted in my greenhouse, but I don't have another ruler, so I just got a piece of wood, and I marked a 1 inch, a 2 inch, and a 4 inch. And then on this dibbler, I also marked a 12 inch, and a 1 inch, a 2 inch, and a 4 inch. So the theory behind a dibbler is, as you're walking along, you can make your little holes for your seeds or for your plants using this without having to be bent over or having to crawl around to do it. So I have a smaller dibbler as well. Let me grab that real quick. So here's a smaller one, more of a handheld, like a handheld one. This one I think is, each one of these lines is an inch, so that works out too. This one we got at the Ozark, Missouri meetup 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was 2 years ago. So this one will work as well. So these are just different little tools that you can use. This one is great when you're planting things in the ground. You don't have to bend over. This one is also good whenever you're, just kind of planting at, at a regular height. And that's why we wanted these beds a little bit higher. We talked about making them just one board deep, which would have taken a lot less material to fill them, but that would have been a lot of stooping, a lot of hard labor on your back. And as you guys can see, with Rusty's back, we can't chance that. So we're going to use this one because we have the inches already measured out. I'm going to plant the Texas Sweet first. I'm not going to go 12 inches from the end. Oh, and this is 12 inches. I'm pretty sure this is a 12-inch dibbler. It is. See, I had measured out 12 inches. It is a 12-inch dibbler. So this has all of the measurements that I need. These were handcrafted. I can't remember who it was that handcrafted these, but they are absolutely gorgeous. If I can look back and find out who did, I will link that down below as well. I'll probably link the video when we got these. This one was actually varnished had a clear coat put on it to preserve it. Jason, he made this by hand as well, but he he burnt it, with a torch to preserve it, but I have, used it a lot, and it's stayed out in the weather some, so it's kind of done its thing. So if we want to give these onions room to grow, I'm going to start at 12 inches from that side and 12 inches from here. So this will be my first bulb, and I want it 1 inch, so I'm just going to go to that first little line, 1 inch, and I've got a lot. And I can always plant them all and thin them out, and I might end up doing that just depending on how many we have left, at the end. But these right here, these are called Texas Sweet. I do like the yellow onions the best. So these little bitty starts, Desi's right here off camera, but these little bitty starts end up being the big onions that we cook with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they say don't plant them too deep. So yeah, there we go. So we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 over. So we're going to put our next one right here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to mark that one so I know that that's the one. All right, so here's a little trick to keep our line straight. I'm going to have Desi go ahead and use the dibbler and run, make all the little holes so that we can plant them. But this way, if I use this string, I can make a straight line and she won't veer off. We can make sure we have a straight line. Now, normally I would use a nail and nail this, but I don't feel like going all the way to the barn to get a hammer. So we're just going to use some tape. We're going to measure out that 12 inches, which is right there with that onion. Right here. So we're going to tape it down. And then we're going to come down here to the other end. I'm not even going to cut this string off because you never know, we might need it for something else. So I'm going to run my line 12 inches from there. So let's make sure we got it straight. All right, Desi, come here. Hold this right here. Okay. Okay. All right, so that'll keep us a straight line. Let me mark this for you real quick. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the one you're going to go with, Desi. Okay.
4.
Yeah, I marked it. That way you don't have to mark it. You don't have to look every time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to stay with this line, right? So I know that one's there. So you want to be on this side of that line. So
okay,
you're going to go see that 4.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're just going to make the hole no deeper than that. Okay.
Okay.
So you're just going to make your hole. You want to make it to where so I can see it. Okay.
Okay.
And then you're just going to go along this and make those holes. Okay.
So
make sure you're making the holes where I can see them. And I'll go in behind you and drop these in. These onions smell good.
do you see that hole?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I don't see one here.
Oh.
Where was this? Nope, 4. You're going from the 4, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Nope, from the 4. From this.
Oh.
Remember?
No.
You don't remember?
Yes, I did. I did.
Okay. I was like... Let's go ahead You know, I had done 12 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and go 4 inches from this one this way
Okay.
and fill in 2 more. Let's do
4
that.
inches.
Yep.
Right here.
So from here.
Here to here.
So this is your 4-inch mark. So from here to here.
Okay.
And then from there, 4 inches. From here, 4 inches. Okay. And can you fit one more in there? From here. There's your mark. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. And with our string, we kept it pretty straight, Desiree.
Yeah, we did.
That's good. Let me see this. I went 12 inches from the end, and I bet we could just half that and do 6 inches. We could just do a whole nother line right here.
Okay.
So let me... Here, Desi, hold on to that so that it doesn't get doesn't get dirt.
Okay.
I'm going to measure this side, right? So we go, oop.
So right here.
Well, I got to measure from down there.
Oh, okay.
That tape, note to self, that tape only works once.
Yeah, it does.
It's a little bit further out. So we're going to start here with this one, Desi.
Huh.
And then you'll do the 4 inches again. So that little mark, you'll come across.
Okay.
You want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put this hole. Here's that forward part. This hole.
You sound like you're getting sick.
I am.
You are.
Yeah. So right here, and then right here.
I read somewhere once that said, never say I'm getting sick. Always, no, I'm just telling you what I read. And it said, always say I'm healing. And because it's whatever you put out in the universe is what is so. So if you say, I'm healing, like, are you sick? I'm healing.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you're putting good vibes into the universe instead of negative vibes. Now, listen, if I'm feeling sick, I'm like, oh, I'm so sick. But I just thought it was kind of cool.
Right.
We had 21 and 22. That's what, how many?
21. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus
2.
2 is 30.
So we have
43.
43 Texas sweets.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome, Desi.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too.
And I'm going to put 3, what is today, the 5th?
Yeah. The only reason why I know it's the 5th is because that we had a math test today.
How'd you do?
I think I did good.
Did you?
Yeah.
So like just a regular math test or a math test?
A regular math test.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good. Okay, some of these we may end up having to thin later on, but right now we have 2 rows of onions planted. All right, you guys, so Desi and I talked about it, and we decided that we were just going to do 2 rows of onions in this bed because I really want to be able to get 2 rows of potatoes in this bed. So 2 rows of onions, 2 rows of potatoes, and I'm going to plant the rest of the onions. Hopefully we'll get another bed done soon, and I can plant the rest of my my onions in it. If not, I have tubs that I can put onions in, and I'll just grow onions in tubs. So we're going to call it for tonight. I'll do all my bookkeeping on it in the morning, and you know, when it's a little bit warmer. And I have to get inside and get some supper made. So I hope you guys like our videos. If you do, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share with your friends. Leave us some comments, you guys. We always love to hear from you. So until next time, you guys, God bless.
Peace.